back to ASAP Boxing. I'm your host, Left Hand Los.
Ray Massey.
Marlon Parker.
All right, today's topic, we're going to discuss all the fights that happened over the weekend. It was a lot of bang. It was a lot of bang out there. Tony Harrison.
Yeah.
Tony Harrison, man. Man, that was a good fight. Yeah. He looked amazing. He to me, he boxed, he stayed on his stick. He was touching him with everything. He looked sweet, man. I don't see any rust. I don't see any rust whatsoever. And he went the distance.
Especially for a guy they were writing off.
Right.
He just fought to a draw with Perella, and they thought he was done. Tony Harrison's back.
Yeah,
he just put his name back.
He said that. You know what? He's a good personality for boxing. I think he's good for the sport. He has an honesty that comes through even in his interviews. On top of his skill, what I liked about that fight is he did his homework against his opponent. He boxed well. He made the fight. In comparison, if you look at the Fundora fight, he made that look easy. He actually demonstrated how proper boxing, how you box a fighter, and you fight a boxer, how it's supposed to look. Styles make fights.
Yeah, they definitely make fights. What I like about it also, he pretty much picked his shots. He good counter punching, and I'm excited to see who's up next.
Well, from my perspective, it just showed that Tony Harrison once again proved to everyone he's an elite fighter at 154. And just because you lose to the champ, you're not the unified champion. Yeah, I guess they're not unified because Kasana. But yeah, just because you lose to Charlo doesn't mean you're still not an elite fighter. Yeah, we kind of wrote him off the way he lost. It was a good showing. He gave a really good showing of himself. But yesterday, if you are a fan, then you would be excited because with his performance yesterday, you'll at least see him he'll have to fight at least once more this year.
And Garcia not taking anything from Garcia, he gave a good standing for himself. I mean, he's a gritty, tough, durable fighter. I'm pretty sure it's a place for him. And to be honest, we've all seen situations with fighters like that. They only get better.
Yeah, he's definitely got to work on his defense because he was getting hit with everything. And I do mean everything.
Yeah. Well, he also fought an elite fighter. I mean, if he fought a lesser opponent, those opportunities might not have been there, or they might not have capitalized on them.
Too many opportunities.
It was just Tony Harrison's night. I mean, his skill level it was clear and it was on display. Okay. And so it was a great fight. But before we get bogged down in that fight, before we go too deep in the weeds, the Ryan Garcia fight. There was two fights that I'm excited about. Ryan Garcia.
You're excited.
Yeah, I was excited about it. And you guys know, 5 a.m, I was up watching the Triple G fight.
With a straight face.
The Triple G fight, I'll save. But Ryan Garcia, he fought a guy who didn't want to get knocked out. To his credit, the guy stood in there. He traded sometimes. He ran a lot. Ryan Garcia didn't stick to the jab. He probably could have ended the fight. It didn't have to go to distance, but for some reason, he just wouldn't stick with the jab. And this is what happens. The guy was just ducking and dodging. He'd take some punishment. He'd throw enough back where, the ref didn't have to worry about whether or not to stop the fight. But it was never competitive. Yeah. The guy didn't win. I keep calling him the guy. His name is To Go. I'm sorry. I don't want to mispronounce it. He didn't win a single round. I don't even think he won the ring entrance. He didn't win anything. He was just good enough where you don't have to call him out and say you were non-competitive. Yeah, that's only happened so many times over the last few years where guys have been called out and they've been threatened because they weren't competitive at all.
Yeah, if I don't see something like a matchup that's attractive to me, there's something I'm really looking forward to seeing. My time on Saturday is valuable. I can't waste my time watching a fight like that. I didn't think it was a good matchup, but hey, it's something.
Yeah, and speaking of matchups, Ryan Garcia needs, to me, step up in this competition. I mean, he's got the skill set to compete with some of the best fighters in his division.
Yeah.
I'm just
Stop talking. Stop talking. Fight. Stop talking.
No, the guy's back. The guy's back. He had a mental health break or
Yeah.
So let's be respectful. He's back. He fought someone that probably wasn't a dangerous opponent, but it was enough to give him, get him back. Yeah, tune him up. You hate to refer to a guy as a tune-up fight, but we are talking boxing, and that's normal.
Would you pay for a tune-up fight?
I can't. I don't want to. Would I pay for a tune-up fight?
Let's be respectful.
Would I pay for a tune-up?
Respect my dollars. I wouldn't pay for that.
It came with the subscription, so if it had not I've been a subscriber, I would not have ordered that fight.
There you go. There you go. What was the other fight?
Triple G. You know that fight. I was up 5 a.m. The car started at 5. I think Triple G may have fought around between 7:45 and 8, if I'm not mistaken. It was really good. It was a good fight. Murata came after Triple G early. Triple G started wearing him down, and the fight changed. I think maybe it was the 10th round. It was probably at the 10th round that the fight was done. And Triple G still looks dangerous. He still looks really good at 40. Hopefully he doesn't have to wait too long to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Because this version of Jonathan Banks, him training with Jonathan Banks, you can kind of now see it. When he fought Dervincho, I cannot pronounce his name. And if we'd do a lot of outtakes trying to get this guy's name. But when he fought him that time, that was his first fight with Jonathan Banks, and it looked different. We really couldn't see anything. Yesterday, you actually could see the difference with Jonathan Banks working with him. They've been together for, I think this is their third fight, and it made a difference. And Triple G, classy fighter as always, gave Murata his robe afterwards, went to the dressing room and returned his belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's old school, man. I've seen that happen before, only maybe 1 or 2 times, but again, that's old school right there. Shout out to Triple G for that. That's how you do it. That's how true champions behave. The other fight, though, I thought was a candidate, arguably fight of the year already. We're in April, and it's fight of the year already material. It was the Fundora versus Lubin. Erickson Lubin, man.
He gave it everything.
He did his thing. I get it. Fundora was like, he bought a hammer too, and I bought a drill. That Lubin gave us fight of the year quality, but it didn't have to be the outcome that occurred. It got, of course, Lubin got stopped. However,
it was a good stoppage. I think
Kevin
Hunter made that.
I'm not arguing the stoppage.
Yeah,
the stoppage. I thought
you could even argue he could have stopped it around earlier.
Yeah, he could have stopped it earlier. From what I saw, it looked like Lubin had problems executing his strategy. He was getting a great coaching. Shout out to his coach. But it, unfortunately, I understand, because it's not like it doesn't happen. In the heat of battle, when you're getting bombarded, sometimes it's hard to execute your assignment. And his assignment was to chop at that body and move, chop, and bring up to the top and move. When he did that in spurts, it worked. When he sat on the fourth, on the ropes, I think it was the 4th round. I mean, he was. Call the police, man. He was getting bludgeoned to death. And I think he took the most damage in the 4th round. But Carlos gonna argue. He may argue, but I thought he took a lot of damage. What you think?
I think that he should have. I hate saying what you should have did, but I believe the fight would have went a lot differently if he would have, listened more to his coach. Like you said, hit the body, step around him, count on with the hook. His big mistake he made was not moving his feet. when he stood in the pocket and he was taking just a barrage of just power shots. Like,
just
and
uppercut after uppercut, coming straight up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that uppercut pretty much sealed the deal for him. You can't let someone keep pounding on you. And I think if he would have kept his hands up, moved a little bit more, he wouldn't have took so much damage. He probably could have danced around, got the win. But unfortunately, Fundora, he's a monster in that division. He kind of reminds me of Paul Williams. I'm jumping out there. He reminds me of Paul Williams because he's a tall fighter that knows how to fight on the inside, and he's bringing the pain.
And I saw shades of Margarito in there.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it made me at times. It made me feel like I was watching, Margarito Cotto won when Cotto started to go down decline, where he was just. It was reckless disregard to anything that was coming at him. He was just throwing.
But now we know the secret. We know the secret behind
that.
Yeah,
well, we know the secret behind that. But we're not to say that same thing happened here. But he got to a point where he didn't really care much what was going out there. Anytime you start leading with the uppercut, it's no jab, no.
Because it was effective.
Yeah, he was standing right in front of him.
Yeah, he didn't. There was no respect for a hook.
But let's not forget, he made Fundora take a knee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember, so even when he was getting pummeled, and he still had enough left to turn, what was that, the 8th round? He turned it around.
He turned out.
And he hit him with a barrage, and Fundora had enough wits about him he said, look, I got to get out of this. He took a knee.
Take a knee.
Yeah.
He said he got too hazy.
Exactly.
I mean, that's smart boxing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with taking the knee. I know some people who like to have the reputation, but I never got knocked down. That's not a badge of honor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know guys who never got knocked down. They took unnecessary punishment, which, we see nowadays that stuff lasts with you lifetime. And so it's not a badge of honor. He took a knee. I remember Trinidad. That's one of the things I like about Trinidad. He was dangerous and he was vulnerable at the same time because he would get knocked down. At one point, I think he got knocked down on average almost once a fight. But when he got up, he was in trouble. And so same thing with Fundora. He got knocked down and he collected himself, got back up, and then he continued mission.
I thought the fight was over. I jumped up off the seat, screaming. I'm like, "Oh!" I was pulling for Lubin.
I looked at
that clock. But and to Lubin, like Lubin actually, he showed heart. Like
to his credit,
because a lot of people wouldn't have sustained that much punishment.
No, and you're right. And just to speak to that, he knew he was in trouble. Mm-hmm. You can tell he never protested when Kevin Cunningham stopped the fight. Mm-hmm. Lubin was just fighting on fumes. It was all heart. Mm-hmm. And you can tell when a fighter knows he's in trouble, and he was just giving it everything he had. Mm-hmm. So if I didn't have, obviously I respect him. The guy goes in the ring. The amount of respect I have for him increased significantly last night. I was trying to will him to win as well. At the same time, I'm like Kevin Cunningham. Just stop the young guy. Just save him. At 154, he has another chance to get another shot at 154. But yeah, it was a great fight, and I'm still thinking about it and thinking of his face.
I mean, result. A lot of times, folks, you take for granted. There's 2 fights going on in the ring. It's one between the fighters, but it's also with the coaches. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Kevin Cunningham because man, he did his job. He did his job. He earned every dollar he probably received. But to see the sad part about boxing is sometimes your casual fans. They don't see the humanity in the sport, man. These are still people. They're human beings, right?
That you train with for 8, 10, 12 weeks.
Listen, I care about every soldier who gets in the ring and slugs it out, but I want to see you live to see another day. That's like sometimes it's like the folks want to see you die in the ring, and it's your coach's responsibility to pull you back. Right. And so with that said, Kevin Cunningham he did the right thing, and some stupid fan threw ice at him, threw in a referee. Yeah. I'm like, come on, really? Did you really think that? Look at the guy's face. Look at him.
And he did him a favor. I did him a favor because
was his jaw broken?
I don't know.
I don't know. It looked like
something was fractured. The
hematoma was apparent.
Eyes over socket or something.
The eye looks like it was probably the orbital bone might have been broken. It was some extensive damage done to his face.
But you know what was crazy though? It was like all the damage he took, it seemed like he still was in there. He was one punch away.
All 3 cards.
Yes.
Yeah. Who knew? Right. I had a Fundora up by what, 1 card? I had him up by 1 round.
I was nervous because I really wanted Lugan to win because I wanted to see that rematch between him and Charlo. But
it might happen.
Well, he didn't fight. He was not going to fight. It wouldn't be a rematch. Remember, he fought Jamal.
Yeah.
So now he would have to fight Jamel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to see him. I just want to see that redemption. That I see he lost.
So beat one brother. So it's like with the Klitschko.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I want to see that redemption. No matter which brother it was, but I wanted to see him back in there. That's a great storyline, right? For him to lose, with the 1 punch. What he got? What was that? First round. It was early in the fight, and then for him to come back and fight his way back to the top. And this would have been a pivotal step on his way back, and he just wasn't able to rise to the challenge. But thankfully, he had a good coach, good corner. And they stopped the fight, and hopefully we'll see him another day.
And I argue that he's back. But like his body failed him. He was winning the fight on all 3 cards. He couldn't continue because that jaw. I guess we'll hear more in the next days and weeks. But it's obvious something was wrong with either the orbital bone or the jaw. And we may hear about even more damage. Something will leak out. They'll tell us something within the next few days and weeks. But he's back. He actually gave a good showing of himself. He showed enough heart, enough grit, and he still had enough skill. He was, every once in a while, he would listen to Kevin Cunningham, but it's too late in the round. Kevin Cunningham was feeding him this strategy early. And at one point, I'm watching the fight, and I said, "Why don't you just give up on that? And just give him his keys to victory now." Say, at some point, just let's shift away from him. He's not going to do it. Right. Kevin Cunningham showed a lot of restraint in that corner. A lot of guys cuss out fighters, and they get into it. He was pretty calm with them.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Kevin Cunningham actually, to me, is a good coach for him because people don't understand when you get a coach. It's one thing having a coach telling you what to do, but it's another thing knowing how to get them to listen to you. And like you were saying, Ray, like his progression from the Charlo loss all the way up, it's been working with him. He's been getting better and better, and that's why you can see the little spurts of him even surviving that long. Because, like I said, he was taking so many punches early on. I didn't know. I didn't know how that face was going.
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, he done. Yeah. He done.
I was pulling though.
And as the rounds are going, and then all of a sudden I see him catch him with a good shot, and then I'm screaming and hollering. Girlfriend, she was knocked out, waking up like she was watching the whole time. Like, oh yeah, good. Like, no.
I couldn't sleep through that one. It was a really good fight. We joke a lot. Some of the fights that come on later at night, we might fall asleep around or 2, or we text or whatever. I see you guys last night were still texting.
I know you was out. I didn't hear from you.
I started at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, you was.
And so then I was going fight. We had a day, then more fights, and then I was going back and forth. The only fight I actually slept through when you guys were texting was the Shane Mosley fight. I was up for the other fight. I was up for the Fundora fight.
Do we know?
Shane Mosley, he beat Gabe Rosada.
Okay.
Shane Mosley Jr. Sorry. So
what decision?
I've just read about it. So
Well,
yeah,
we can't neglect the fact what we saw last night, but we still gotta give Fundora's props.
Oh,
monster!
yeah,
Like I'm just curious to see how it's gonna line up once Charlo and Castano get in there and that matchup.
We're not gonna see that. We may see it first quarter 2023. But I don't think we're gonna see that fight this year.
No, they are fighting this year. I think they're
The winner. No,
they fight. Oh, the winner.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna fight this year.
I think Charlo fights twice a year. I don't think he's a
What's
one-time.
Maybe December.
They're gonna fight soon. So you probably can get a fight probably November.
Yeah, 2 is not bad again.
Yes, exactly.
And
now we have to also remember we're in this weird time where everything is a pay-per-view.
Yeah, man.
So that's I guess another topic.
It
sounds like they're trying to recoup on some cash from Corona. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
maybe. Well, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. A-Side Boxing. Till next time.
It's an inflated diamond chain, but
sure. Hi, welcome to A-Side. Hi, welcome back to A-Side.
What are you doing?
That was good.
I was laughing. That was good. That's my bad. I was laughing.
He got helium in his head.
That was my bad. That's my bad.
All right, okay. We're still rolling now. We're gonna
we're gonna get it.
All right, let's go.
I was laughing. I'm sorry.
All right.
I was thinking about this joke about bug head.
Go ahead, man.
Head.
Yeah.
You press record?
You're still recording.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay,
hold on. All right, chill. All right,
come on, let's do it. Can y'all stop laughing?
Hey,
this might be our best show ever.
Hey, now let's roll with this shit. We gonna roll with it, y'all. We're gonna roll with it, y'all.
This might be our best show ever. Oh, I'm crying. I can't record like this. Hold on, I gotta get the tears off my street. Oh,
he's funny looking.
Yeah. Dude, I'm crying.
All you gotta say is wow. That's all you gotta say is wow.
Come on.
All right.
Oh, I'm still crying. Let me just.
Y'all keep making these little funny little faces and making me laugh.